Parks Board meeting for the date of Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024 at 10 a.m. is now in session. Let the record reflect that pursuant to Indiana Code 5-14-1.5D, the Board of Commissioners of the Gary Park Department hereby certifies that we did held an executive session and that we discussed no subject in the executive session other than the subject matter specified in the public notice. With that, I have a roll call.
President Gardner,
Present.
Vice President Cook,
Yes.
Commissioner Harrell,
Present.
and myself.
We have a quorum and we will continue. We'll now have our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let me begin by asking our superintendent to introduce to the city of Gary our new accounting technician.
Come on forward. Okay, so this is Darcy Alford, and Darcy is our new accounting technician. He is from Gary, he graduated. We're gonna have you turn around this way and just move back just a little bit. I keep forgetting to put the X on the floor. He was a high school basketball star at one time too, weren't you?
Yeah, Gary Westside.
Okay, so he's a Westside graduate, and he has many years in the area of accounting. And he told me in our interview that he knows numbers. So we are looking forward to getting him trained and getting him in place so that we will have no more issues. I've had to cross-train a couple of our folks in regards to making sure that our invoices get paid. And now that responsibility will no longer be on them, but Darcy's taking over.
Very pleased to meet you. I'm glad to have you.
Welcome. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
I would address your attention to the minutes for the date of June 28th. Are there any questions?
I have none.
Then I will entertain a motion that we would approve the minutes as presented.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Roll call.
President Gardner,
Yes.
Vice President Cook,
Yes.
and Commissioner Harrell.
Yes.
I would address your attention to the approval of our claims listing. And this is the claims listing for February 26th through March the 12th. This is what I have here.
That's wrong. I'm sorry.
Wrong.
I did it too fast.
Okay, that's the piece. You got another piece of paper?
No, those are the right claims, but wrong.
Right claims, wrong date. All right. All right, so what is the right date?
The right date would be from June to July of last week, the 19th.
All right, so I will address your attention to the claims report with the corrected date.
And we'll
So the
send
claims are correct, but
Yes.
the date needs to be changed.
Yes.
Are there any questions? Then I will entertain a motion that we would approve the claims as presented.
So moved, Mr. Chair, with the correction of the dates.
Second.
Roll call?
President Gardner,
Yes.
Vice President Cook,
Yes.
and Commissioner Harrell.
Yes.
We'll now address your attention to the payroll. And this is payroll for the date of June 28th.
And we should have another payroll too.
There are two?
Yes.
Yes, there are. For the dates of June 28th and July 12th.
Yes.
Are there any questions? Then I will entertain a motion that we would approve the payroll as presented.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Roll call?
President Garner,
Yes.
Vice President Cook,
Yes.
and Commissioner Harrell.
Yes.
That takes us to our legal report.
Thank you, President Gardner. The first matter that we will begin with is professional services for the Youth Service Bureau. And that is for the program, Help Summer Enrichment Program. And that program is designed to help youth with various summer activities. And it will be in partnership with the City Life Center. The youth have been vetted by the Center Life Center, or at least they determined who would qualify. We being the city, did determine that the youth that are being serviced are ones who meet the proper federal guidelines. What we will do is that we will pay to the City Life Center $200 for 10 children to participate in the summer program. I'm gonna amend the term because their attendance at the program started on June 10th. So it will run from June 10th to the first week or second week in August. And what we are doing, or what the Park Department is attempting to do, is to partner with organizations, not bring these programs in-house, but so to do it with programs who have established reputation of helping youth in our community.
Are there any questions from board members?
And it's $200 per youth, and it's 10 youth, so it's a maximum of $2,000.
Any questions from board members?
I have none.
And I'll entertain a motion that we would approve the contract for professional services with Youth Service Bureau not to exceed $2,000.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second.
Roll call?
President Garner,
Yes.
Vice President Cook,
Yes.
and Commissioner Harrell.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
Well, I do want to bring to the board's attention that the superintendent is going to ask the board for permission to rebid the contract out at Brunswick as it relates to the security program. And all the other work that needs to be done at Brunswick also.
Any questions from board members? Then I'll entertain, we don't need a motion on that, this is information, right?
Yes, I don't think we need a motion at this point. The superintendent is gonna give us a concise list, but I do think we need a motion as it relates to the security system, yes.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion that we would approve the rebidding of contracts related to security at Brunswick.
So moved, Mr. Chair.
Second that motion.
Roll call?
President Garner,
Yes.
Vice President Cook,
Yes.
and Commissioner Harrell.
Yes.
Motion is carried.
And that would conclude the legal report.
All right. Administrative reports, aquatics. Okay, not here today. All right. Hudson Campbell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As you see with your board packets, we had went out on the 4th of July parade and passed out information about the Hudson Campbell. We passed out about 300 water bottles, and inside the water bottles, It had, all the program information, membership fee, and also what we're starting in the fall. On September 8th, on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, we will have Senior Day at Hudson County. All they have to do is be members through Silver Sneakers or just a regular senior membership. And they will be able to come in and play bid whist, dominoes, and other variety, like spades and other variety of card games. And it will be every Wednesday, 55, age 55 and up. So, within the next few weeks, myself and Ms. Vita Sparks-Wade will hit the senior buildings and different areas and start to promote it. But we had already passed out information during the parade.
Okay, any questions for board members on the Wednesday, Senior Wednesday? Okay,
And that will start September 18th. Yes.
okay. That it?
Yes.
Any questions from board members?
No, but I'd like to make note of the fact that I did notice that we have a nice security system set up out there. Can you talk about that for a minute or two?
That'll be in my report.
Oh, okay, all right, okay. Thank you.
All right. Marquette Park.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My totals for June are as follows. For the month of June, we brought in $59,049.50. And the year to date, we are at $191,265.22. And this time last year, we were at $162,607.33. So we are busy and moving forward in a positive way. Below, I do have a list of the events for the month of July. And if you look at Friday, the 26th, we have a big day. So we have the Northwest Indiana Symphony. They'll be at Area 5. And just so you all know, all the lights and electrical boxes have been fixed in that space by Great Lakes LTD. The iron workers are also out in Marquette. They, what they did not finish was the concrete up under the bottom of the bridge. They had to patch that, and then they're gonna paint it black. So they're finishing that up this week. As well as, okay, so let me go back to Friday. So Friday we have the symphony, and we're looking at about 1,500 people that will be there. And we also have a wedding at the pavilion that has 250 people. So if you're planning on coming to Marquette on this Friday, I suggest that you arrive early. You will have to pay for parking. It's $8 if you're a Gary resident and you have your ID, and if not, it's $10. There's no discounts for this Friday.
Tell us what Area 5 is.
Area 5 is the picnic pavilion. So when you go to the beach and you see the large parking lot, you see two large cement pillars. That green space over there close to the lagoon is Area 5. And that's the space that the symphony will be held, in that space over there. We would like to give a huge thank you to everyone who participated and came out in our 4th annual Food Truck Block Fest. For me, it was one of the best, and it was my favorite, and I just want to thank everyone. We probably had about 4 people ask us how they can be a vendor for next year. So that made me excited to, because I know that we're doing something right and going in the right direction. And if you want to be a vendor, give us a call, 219-938-7362, and we can give you some information. Wind Down Wednesday has also started back again. And the next one is Wednesday, July the 31st, and the Fabulous Kings will be performing. It's from 5 to 9 o'clock. Bring your lawn chairs, bring your food, but you cannot bring in alcohol. You have to utilize the cash bar for that. And it's just a good time to come out, relax, hear some good music, and enjoy the community. The air show is August the 17th and the 18th. It's a free show, however, you do have to pay for parking. I do not have that cost, I'm sorry, in front of me, but you do have to pay for parking for the air show. Let's see if I'm missing anything. I think that's all I have.
One question, if I might, regarding the painting of the underceiling at the pavilion, the color selection of black, was that gonna match the aesthetics of the building?
It will, it'll look fine, yeah. You really don't wanna go with any other color. I mean, it just actually makes it look like it has disappeared, so it won't, it'll look nice.
Any updates on the repair for our bridges out there that you could talk about?
Which bridges, by the lagoon?
Yes.
No.
Any other questions?
No,
Thank you.
President Gardner, just 1 second. Would you all please turn your phones on either vibrate or silent? Thank you.
Park maintenance.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, I normally come up here and tell you what we are doing, but I would rather start by saying, what aren't we doing? My team, we just continue to mow every day. I mean, I have to give my guys credit. There hasn't been any, we don't get any time off. I mean, we just mow and mow and mow. We're up to about 4 parks a day now that we can, you know, keep on moving. Starting to do some of the aesthetic work, the spraying and edging and stuff like that. Howe Park and Tolliston now have the pouring place in. We've been grading it to the level of the pouring place, and so that we're starting to prep for seed. And we will see either seed or sod those areas. We haven't decided yet, but that usually starts around the 1st or 2nd week of September. Just, you know, weather-wise, you don't want to seed in the heat of the summer if you don't have water out there. But other than that, we just continue to keep moving on. Any projects we get, seems like the park department gets all the calls to go and do it and fix them. I always say fix them because it's always a last-minute thing, but we'll be working with Rough Hands at Gleason. We're gonna spray the fence line, cut the vines off in that. That was one of the mayor's directives in that. So we'll be doing that kind of stuff, and other than that, we just keep going on. You know, I mean, we have a lot of work to do.
Any questions? Youth Services Bureau.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
If you all walked in today and you heard the silence in the room, that's my heartbreaking because our summer youth terms have completed their program on Friday of last week. That is Tier 1 and Tier 2. They started this program on June 10th and it did conclude last Friday. We had about 25 interns that worked in the Hudson County alone, as well as 13 interns that worked with our Parks Department to ensure that they were clean, that the sticks and the debris that were moved, and also an additional 100 other interns that worked variously across the city. I do know the last time we spoke that we were going to present some gifts today to the board, and sincere you can help me pass these out. My report is simply to be a model today of what we got to the board. You can start passing out the polos. Judge in the row, yours is still not here yet, but it will be. For you to have your shirt.
So I want my shirt.
Absolutely, absolutely. We are still in our SYEP Summer Youth Program. It does not conclude in its entirety until August 2nd. That is for Tier 3, our 19 through 22-year-olds. So they're still working within the city. We would like to announce at the end of that program, we received emails already that at least 3 students that were part of this program will have full-time employment here with the city of Gary. Just something to be excited about. One, a graduate from Kentucky State University. The second one is a graduate from Tennessee State University. and then one is Pine Bluff. So we're excited that our kids, when they got their education, came back, endured the summer youth program, and we were able to offer them full-time opportunities here within the city. As it relates to next steps of where we're going and the direction we have to do outside of the summer youth employment program, one of those were in conjunction to the contract that you all approved today. The Youth Services Bureau wants to move, not only to, acknowledge other youth services out of school and in-school learning programs that are in the city of Gary, but for us to be not a fiduciary, but for us to be a non-biased finger pointer, essentially, to say these are the programs that are in the city, and for us to recommend to the city all of the summer youth programs that are taking place, not only just in the city of Gary, but the entire county. So we would like for you all to stay on notice about that. We will keep the board updated in terms of what it is going to look like after the summer, once the summer youth employment program is completed.
Any questions? All right,
May
great.
I add something real quick?
Go right ahead.
I wanna say thank you, because today or Monday was the first day we haven't had kids. My guys are complaining already about all the garbage they got.
Yeah, this is probably more children than we've been able to hire in the past few years, and I really am happy about that. My first job paying federal income tax was as a summer job at 14,
Wow.
working for the city of Gary.
Absolutely.
And it was $1.62 an hour. And a bi-weekly pay was $62.40. But it was the opportunity of a lifetime. And so I just anytime we're able to do that for our young people, it is priceless in more than one way.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, good summer, job well done.
Thank you.
Takes us to our director's report.
Okay, I'm gonna really try to keep it short. As you all noticed when you all came in, we have the new metal detectors. The donation was approved by this board, and now we have to go before the council, the city council. But the Gary Community School Corporation donated those metal detectors as another layer of security, another layer of safety for the Hudson Campbell. And so, like I said, in a couple of weeks, we'll be going before the city council in regards to receiving that donation. Secondly, on this past Saturday, I attended an event that was held in collaboration with the Wetlands Initiative and the Audubon Society out at Hatcher Park. And an area of Marshalltown that they are mediating and doing a lot of environmental activities back there. They had a walk, they had a storytelling session, and we were able to gather some information in regards to what the residents want to see out there as well. I didn't know there was actually a football field that used to be back there as well. I saw two big goal posts back there. There was a softball field that they used to play softball back there as well. So I want to thank Don and his crew for cleaning up back there. And this is what happened. Is that my phone? No. Shame on me. This is what happened. Excuse me. Don and his crew cleaned up back there all week because the grass had just grown really, really high. And we're trying to make sure that we secure the pool that's still back there. So we've gotten a couple quotes in regards to fencing. In the meantime, they had not cut back there because it at least masks the fact that it's a pool back there. But they went and they cut for the event, removed the dumping that had been done. Earlier this year, Markel Watkins and the Think Big crew, I was out there with them as well. We had cleaned it up. More dumping, more dumping. No sooner than the dumping was removed, a couple days later, somebody came back there and dumped again. So the day before the incident, Don and his crew, along with General Services, had to go out and clean up the dumping again. Don suggested that we get those big concrete blocks and at least be able to block off that back area, because we've got too much going on. We've got too many organizations that are assisting us in making sure that our scarce wetlands are protected. And to the citizens or non-citizens who choose to dump, and we're talking about, you know, they remove the drywall and, you know, bathtubs and dump it behind Hatcher Park. And we're very disappointed in that, but we're gonna keep on picking it up. You keep dumping it, we're gonna keep picking it up, but we would hope that education, you know, is impactful. Okay, so, you know, it is what it is right now, but I've got a couple other reports in regards to that. On this last week I rode past Buffington Park, and I was just praising our guys for the wonderful job that they've done, because, you know, it's difficult to keep up with the schedule that you have with only 6 full-time mowers, only 6 full-time park maintenance guys, and 2 of them are supervisors. And they go out there, like Don said, and they're mowing every day. So Buffington Park probably is about 2 acres, 2.5 acres of land. And it was mowed last Wednesday or Thursday. It was beautiful. And over the weekend, there was an event, a reunion of sorts that occurred. And according to the organizers of the event, they cleaned up their debris afterwards, put them in the garbage cans. But on Monday morning, Don sits in my chair and he says, Lavita, you know, I don't know who did it, but they came and turned over all of the garbage cans and busted all of the glass on the cement block of the picnic shelter. And we've got pictures and whatnot. I went back out there after Don and his crew having to come off of their regularly scheduled mowing, had to go out and pick up a 55-gallon barrel of glass, of broken glass, that they ended up having to vacuum and to blow as well. So there will be glass out there for a while until, you know, nature takes its course. That's not my phone. So our responsibility is to do what we're doing. We will continue to pick up, we will continue to clean, but please don't allow us to clean in vain and have to constantly come behind our citizens who say that they care about the city of Gary and the city of Gary's parks, and then complain to us that the parks ain't clean. And they're not getting to your park because somebody has come and made this a priority, because we can't have children going out there and cutting themselves because somebody's going to end up suing the city because there's glass all over the picnic shelter. The third incident of that happening was Ambridge Man. Anthony Armstrong sent me some pictures. Constant dumping. Picked up a whole pile of trees and tires and just debris behind Ambridge Man over on 2nd Avenue. He sent me the pictures, we cleaned it up. But again, we have to pull him off, our only Bobcat operator, off of his regular schedule to go and do something that we have to take care of because citizens are not considerate of the work that we do. And that is my plea to the citizens of Gary. I implore you, pick up your trash. Take a garbage bag with you if you have to, but we can't keep operating like this. Finally, Kamisha indicated that we do have the Northwest Indiana Symphony at Marquette, but we also have the Gary Civic Symphony out at Marquette as well. It is a 2-symphony concert, two-band symphony concert, however you say that. But the Gary Civic Symphony is going to start at 6, and the Northwest Indiana Symphony is going to start at 7:30. And I believe that that is all that I have. Oh, one more, I'm sorry. I will be meeting with, myself and Johnny Rucker are going to be meeting with Gary Lighthouse representative. Gary Lighthouse Charter School is right next door to Brunswick, and we are talking about collaborating to be able to make sure that Brunswick is not only renovated, but maintained as well. And that is all that I have. Thank you, board members.
Any questions from, or comments from board members?
Yeah, I'd like to know what the status is of the land swap or land replacement is for wetlands. Also, what if anything can be done about access being made available at Marquette Park for the individuals out there who have difficulty negotiating some of the access points due to the buildup of sand. I think I posed those 3 or 4 things in questions, and if the director can talk about that, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so before I address that, let me adjust this note. In regards to the parking regulations out at our beaches, please comply, because police officers are enforcing parking, they are writing tickets. So you gotta go drop your money in the meter or your card, or go to the parking attendant. We cannot care for our natural resources without certain things happening. That's how we generate monies to be able to keep up, and it's never enough. Secondly, in regards to the Land Water Conservation Fund, we've been out of compliance with that for more than 20 years. As many of you know, on 25th and Grant, it used to be a park called MC Bennett Park. And that park was developed using LWCF funds. As a result of the swap in land, there's no longer a park there. It's Walgreens, it's County Market, it is a development, that is a TIF district, a tax increment financing district. And as a result of that swap, because our parks, when we encumber land using LWCF funds, that land must be encumbered forever. When we did that, we violated that agreement. And so we have had to, over the, since 2000 or so, had to identify land in the city that would replace the land value of MC Bennett Park. And our efforts, I have been speaking with Christopher Harris, our redevelopment director, as well as representatives from downstate, and they told us what we needed to do. As a result, we have identified land that we are having to get assessed, having to get appraised, rather, by a Yellow Book appraiser. We have now identified and engaged with a Yellow Book appraiser, and we are coming to the end of what would be a 20-something year non-compliance with LWCF. So once we get those numbers in, all we have to do is send those numbers downstate, and they indicated that once that's done, then we will again be able to apply for monies with the LWCF fund.
Oh, wonderful, very
Thank
glad
you.
to hear that.
Who
Thank
is
you.
the we?
The we, meaning the park department. What do you mean we? Which
You
part
said
we?
we've been out of compliance.
We, the city of Gary, has been out of compliance.
Thank you.
We, the city of Gary, Parks Department, has been out of compliance.
We didn't develop MCB, we didn't develop, that was
I
not how
know.
developed.
I know, we shouldn't have let them take
But
it.
we're being
That was probably
penalized
before
by
you
that.
got here.
We are, but yeah,
Yeah.
We're being penalized because we can't
we didn't
have
have
access
say so
Yeah.
in that.
to
matter.
funds.
Yeah, but they don't penalize the city, they penalize the, the Parks
The park
Department.
department,
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
we didn't have a say so in that.
Yeah, I'm sure, I'm
Okay.
positive.
Just a-
Yeah.
That's clear.
That was not a decision made by the Park Department.
Thank you.
How about the beach access points?
And in regards to the beach access point, so we have a bulldozer that, I'm gonna have, Don come up and explain the bulldozer situation. First of all, let me explain to the public the fiscal responsibility of the Parks Department. And that is that by the end of the year, we're supposed to be at a zero balance. And my responsibility is to ensure that that happens. So I have to be fiscally responsible when we make decisions in regards to, all of the contracts that we're doing, how we're spending our money. And this particular situation with access points and with boat launches, we have to make sure that we are, because I moved into boat launch as well because the bulldozer does the boat launch.
Right.
We have to make sure that we are fiscally responsible when we make these decisions. And so I'm gonna allow Don to go ahead and explain.
So when we were, first step was, we met, Levita and I met with Christopher Harris and then the city engineer also, just to try and see if there was some type of long-term solution that we could come up with, or if they had plans for anything like that. And at the time, there's nothing really moving. I mean, there's ideas, but nothing concrete that we could say, okay, we'll do this. So our second alternative was to do it ourselves. I mean, we could always go back to last year, the nightmare of paying all that money to have the boat launch cleaned out. But, that's just not really economically feasible. So our last option is to use our bulldozer that we've had and clean it out ourselves. I've been working with Harlan from General Services and Dave. Dave Herman is a mechanic for the fire department, and he's real good with the diesel equipment. So he got the dozer running in that, but there is an issue with it's blowing out a lot of oil and coolant. So what we're doing now is there's a Caterpillar dealer in Hammond. We've asked them to send us a quote on what it would be for them to come out and do a diagnostic on it to see exactly what's wrong with it. And then we'll just go from there. The one thing about that dozer, when you hear worst case scenario, Dave was talking, it's probably $35,000 or $40,000, and that seems like a ton of money, but a new dozer is $750,000, and that dozer really is it's a 1996, so it's 28 years old. It only has 5,000 hours on it, which in dozer time, it's like it hardly has been used. So that's where we go from there.
Don, had the access points been determined in that process? Had that been hashed out?
The fire department was doing that. I would have to get with the fire department to see what they had come up with. The one thing about the access points that may be different from what some of the residents think in that, it's the access points for the fire department that are where they can drive up on Lakeshore Drive and have access to the beach with their equipment also.
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't do us any good to clean up on a small street that the fire department can't get to get their equipment out onto the beach in case of an emergency.
To what degree has thought been given to those people who may have difficulty walking and that kind of thing, going up and down these hills? Because that was brought to my attention.
Yeah,
which is why
I mean,
I'm
we've heard
asking
that,
this.
yeah, we've heard that, Mr. Cook, but, I mean, our first thing is the fire department, safety access and that, and then we would have to go from there. I mean, it's just, that's, safety issues out there have to be addressed first.
4 access points were brought to my attention. Are those, I think I shared those with you.
Yeah, like I said, I would have to get with the fire department, because that's really not my call. I can tell the dozer where to go after they let us know, or we get a dozer running, or whatever it may be, but I really leave that up to the fire department.
Okay, who would you contact, the chief?
Probably, yeah, our deputy, Mark Terry's real knowledgeable about that stuff too.
Okay, if you can find out, let me know, I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
So I can report back to these folks, because they see me regularly and I'm asked this
Yeah,
regularly.
okay.
So I
Don,
would appreciate that.
Do we currently have a handicapped ramp, or not a ramp, but a mat that's rolled out? I know in past years over by the park there, we had a mat that rolled out for wheelchair access. Do we
Kamisha,
still
is it
have
out?
the use of that?
It's out there, but it's It's still not, we need
It's
another.
buried in sand.
Yeah, you know, and that's
It's
one of the
very- it's-
problems
we need
with the
another.
access points and that
It
is
only goes so
everything,
far.
you know, the dunes are alive and so, you know, every time.
They shift.
Yeah, and so
We understand that.
it's something that we probably,
Is the mat still in place, Don?
yeah.
It's in
Covered with
place, but
sand.
it still only go to a certain point.
Yeah,
So
see-
after that certain point, there's nowhere for a wheelchair to go except the sand.
Yeah.
So,
And see, if you look at the other a lot of the other communities, when we were looking at different, avenues to get the jet ski launch and that we were in conversation with this company called MobiMat, and that's who does most of the handicap things and that. A lot of the cities also have, there's actually balloon tired wheelchairs that they have out there, so that because of the cost of the MobiMat itself, to take it all the way to the water from, say, from the aquatorium is where that's, mat is. And it costs us astronomical because it's such a far way to our waterfront. And so a lot of them are just doing it to say over the dune, and then they, you know, so that they can use the balloon tire, chairs. And a lot of that's left up to the people that are using them, you know, the handicapped person excel. A lot of the people that are handicapped do have those. When you go to Indiana Dunes and stuff like that, you see quite a few of those people that if they wanna go on the beach, they usually have their own, sand accessible wheelchairs.
And as we are planning for next year, these are some of the things that we ourselves are, for lack of a better term, handicapped by the budget that we have this year. As we continue to seek other funding, as a matter of fact, I forgot to report out that we have submitted to the Department of Forestry, the Urban Forestry Grant for the city of Gary, along with the Nature Conservancy. They assisted us greatly with that, and it is for an amount of $250,000 to deal with the dead and dying trees in our parks, as well as a maintenance program for planting 2 trees for every 1 tree that we remove. That grant was submitted on last Friday, and we are looking forward to being able to maintain our trees in the city of Gary. But these are some of the things that we are looking for as we plan for next year, and making sure that our residents are able to experience the beach as everybody else is. And so, you know, this winter, we're gonna be talking a lot about access points.
And if I can get some historical background as it relates to those big wheels for the, when Mr. Reeves, when Eric was here, he was trying to talk to some private companies who might come and do a rental booth as it relates to the accessibility for those. And there are some in various areas around here that you can rent once you get to the access point. You can put the person in those wheelchairs that are accessible to the beach. So we probably just need to, as time goes on, maybe we could have some vendors who will contact us, regarding that.
Your friend, Bob Farrak, Farrak, was one of the people that, has been asking me about those
He
kinds of.
calls me all the time.
Well, he's one of the ones that bugged me too about this, so
Yep.
that's why the interest, in addition to the other folks who feel that negotiating those hills can be a little difficult. So you can find out from me and
Okay.
let me know who,
Yep.
and where they would intend to make the access point.
Okay.
If they're in conjunction or congruent with the ones expressed by
Okay.
the people of the Lower Citizens Group.
Very good.
I'd appreciate it.
No problem.
Okay? And one other thing was the adoptive park. I'd like to know if anything, what has been happening with that, because our fraternity wanted to adopt a park, and I thank you for getting that information to me. I don't
Yeah.
know to what degree he has.
He got it too.
Reached out to you guys, so, yes.
He got the information as well, and we are, reaching out to the community in regards to Adopt a Park. We have, generated the, paperwork, so that if there is a park that you would like to adopt, I've actually met with 2 different groups, not your fraternity brother
Okay.
yet, but, you wanna adopt a park, we have some rules and regulations that you would have to sign off on, but you can do that for a year at a time, okay? And I did have one more thing, I'm sorry, guys. The playground systems at both Tolliston Park and at Howe Park were installed. This is a part of our Jewel Parks program. And the kids were so, ready to get on it that I see a couple little footprints before the pour-and-play servicing actually was cured. But we've got playground equipment, brand new, beautiful playground equipment at Tolliston Park as well as Howe Park. And our guys are doing the finishing touches. So they will be back in a month because the installer is going all over the country. They'll be back in about a month to finish up at Brownswood Park and Glen Ryan.
Any other questions, comments from board members? Does that conclude the superintendent's report?
It does.
That takes us to public comment.
All right, so our first public comment will be from Tracy Peterson.
You have 2 minutes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Tracy Peterson. I was here at your last board meeting talking about the not having access to the lake with my jet ski. And I know the bulldozer's down, so I have a cart to put my jet ski in. And I was told on June 23rd that I could no longer do that, okay? So on the next weekend I came there, and the gates, they keep the gates closed for we can't get in there. The gates to the beach, not the parking lot near the beach, not the one away from the beach. And I'm just curious. I just want to know what the problem is, because I'm sitting here. This is my cart, okay? This is my cart here. This is non-motorized, okay? We push it to the beach to put the carts in the water, okay? And this is, and once they told me that I couldn't do it, then on Sunday, June 29th, at 5:30, there's some people on the beach with their carts, okay? And here they are again, okay? July 4th, more people. So I feel like, I know I am being personally targeted, okay? Because I am putting people in the water free of charge and not charging them to get the jet skis in the water. I don't see what the problem is. Okay, and
Mr. Peterson, I don't mean to interrupt you,
Go ahead.
but who is the they?
The park district. So I talked to
No.
Tawana, who is the aquatic director,
Okay.
and I'm still trying to figure out what her job description is, because I didn't know that she made the laws, rules, and regulations. I thought that was up to the legislature and the city council, okay?
Okay, here, because we only have 2 minutes here, here's what I want to recommend that you do, sir. That you literally put in writing, your request. Now, we literally, let me explain this to everybody here. The city of Gary does not have a functional beach access ramp for aquatics equipment. We had a bulldozer that last year we spent over $80,000 digging a hole in the water so that people could get their vehicle out into the water. Every time the wind blows from the north, every time there's a storm, it fills up with sand again and becomes totally unusable for anything but the shallowest of watercraft. And I have seen in years past where people on a jet ski had to get off the jet ski, get in the water, and try to push their jet ski over an underwater sandbar and then get back on it to try and get out in the water. Until there is a break wall built that establishes us some kind of small harbor from which we can launch watercraft. The superintendent was speaking about it earlier. We cannot, it is a poor use of funding, to try and keep that open, because what happens in the summer is that we wind up upside down. We spend $85,000, $100,000 to dig a hole in the water and come up $40,000 short.
Exactly.
In
That's
terms
sad.
of the revenue that comes in from digging a hole in the water. So that's the first issue.
And sir,
Uh,
right.
Okay, but so I don't want you to think somehow that, and of course this is the first time I have had any conversation with you whatsoever. But my recommendation, and we've had some discussion here and there about what could we do to make that area jet ski accessible. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to put in writing what your issues are and what your request is, right? And we will meet on that. We will discuss that, and we will be in touch with you.
Okay, and to answer your question, that's why I bought a $2,000 beach cart to put my jet ski in the water, because it is a waste of funds and digging that out every year. Okay, I've been doing this for 3 years. Okay, so it rolls on the beach. I have access to the beach. I can get there. I'm not bothering anybody. Okay, and you know, that's exactly what we need. Is if the city or the park district can buy some vehicles, and I have all the information to take the jet skis to the water. Okay, all the jet skiers are willing to pay, you know, to be there. Okay, it's one of the most beautiful beaches in. And my last thing I want to say, you know, the park district has city regulations. I mean, they have all these regulations down on Lake Street and Marquette Street, but yet, you know, I can go to all the houses go to the beach behind the houses, okay, and it's not enforced. You see ATVs on the beach. Okay, I bring my car, you know, they want to give me a hassle.
Again, sir, go ahead.
Yes, some observations. First and foremost, thanks for sharing those images. I know you've been in front of this board in the past, and I'd have to agree in some of the aspects here. You've personally reached out to me in the past asking what I might be able to assist with, but there are other people that are illegally using their four-wheelers and pulling jet skis out to the beach on many of the locations in front of many of the houses. So we really need to resolve this, because we are turning away people that will be coming to our community willing to jet ski and then go spend money in our community for dining and for all the other things that we offer to people coming to our community. We need to really work this, I think, and I appreciate what you've done in presenting this. You have my support. I think it's great for the community, but we do need to nail this down.
I'm gonna
We're
totally
selling
agree.
jet ski passes for the people. They're buying these passes and they can't even launch their jet skis.
I'm just asking that you
And these are my passes from Portage Marina, because I got to go down there and lunch. This is money that Gary's losing.
I'm just asking that you would put both your concerns
I sure will.
and your suggestions on paper. List them out, maybe even as bullet points, and we will put it on our agenda and address it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
So the next person we have to speak is Chris Robinson.
Hi, I'm actually his wife, so I was gonna piggyback on him. So I do understand where you're coming from about the money, because I'm a businesswoman too. And thank you, Dr. Cook. It's been 19 years since you said yes to our business. If it wasn't for Dr. Cook, they wanted to not allow us to have our adult daycare center in the city of Gary. So I thank you so much. So once again, I know about number crunching too, and I promise you, it's so many jet skiers come from all over the place. I mean, really far. They come to Lake Street, and it's disappointing that they have to go to Portage to give away money that they pay more for than the city of Gary. So I'm really asking you guys to allow them to bring their jet skis in. What's wrong with having the gate open and letting a sand cart go through? Another thing you guys don't know, we do have wheelchair, sand wheelchairs. All you have to do is call the Douglas Center and they'll have it for them. That needs to be out.
Free of charge.
Free of charge. So we probably don't know about those resources. And I didn't even know that the Douglas Center also, you could ski in the wintertime. So you might wanna get with them to see what type of things they have. And I told a lot of people that had wheelchair, family members to check the Douglas Center out. Okay, so that's all I have.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so the next one, I don't know if this is Aston, is it Aston?
Oh, sorry, it's Austin.
Austin, and then what's your last name?
Hustle.
Oh,
It's confusing.
that's the name, yes.
Come on up.
Oh, sorry. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
As I said, my name is Austin Hesselin. I'm a professor at Purdue Northwest. I'm an assistant professor of communication. My research is in how cities both shape and are shaped by communicative interactions. So this event right now is a pretty fantastic example, as well as just interactions on the street, interactions with buildings, place-based issues. I'm working with a place-based, multidisciplinary education sort of committee at Purdue Northwest right now. Also teaching a course on culture, identity, and memory of place and how we use rhetoric in communication. I'm interested primarily in just kind of introducing myself. I know I've been taking notes over there frantically, looking like a freak. But interested in making more connections with people in Gary. I'm not a resident of Gary, but I've been doing research in Hammond. I just published a chapter on the Gary-Hammond barrier, and it's kind of like impact and implications for the region as a whole. So, really like to talk with anybody, if anybody is interested, really need to make more connections in the area, really want to learn, primarily. So, that's my spiel.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, and then the next one is Sandy O'Brien.
Hello. Good morning, Sandy.
Good
morning, y'all. I just have some, like, ordinary questions. I know the native planting has been fairly dismantled around the Hudson Campbell in front. And I was wondering if I could take whatever plants you don't want, at least repurpose them. It's kind of wasteful to just be throwing them away. They're actually very valuable. So I wouldn't mind taking them if you want to get rid of them, and you just haven't finished getting rid of them yet. And also, I haven't been paid yet this year. Not for the end of last year, which should have been the last year's PO. And I haven't been paid that or this year.
Have you
at
submitted
all.
an invoice?
I submitted 2 invoices.
To whom?
To you, well, to whoever was here, but
Not to me.
yeah, well, should I submit them again?
Please do.
Because I have to send the original receipts with these, and so if you lost them, I cannot have the
I didn't
original
lose them.
receipts anymore. Well, not you personally.
Oh, okay.
I-
So,
I
no,
sent
go
one in
ahead, and we'll
April
talk
and
about that
One was January.
We'll talk about
one
that
was in
offline,
April.
Sandy,
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
All right.
Well, I would appreciate that, because I've been
Absolutely.
waiting and waiting, and I thought when I got my contract and got that signed, that I would get paid. But that hasn't happened.
If you
And
would,
my husband is very upset with me for
Sandy,
working.
if you would submit an invoice to me,
Well,
personally?
I'll submit you my copies. I
Okay,
made PDF
that would be
copies of
fine.
them. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, and if anyone else walked in late and didn't get to sign, I don't know if you wanna raise your hand, but if not, that concludes our public comments.
Okay, any closing comments or questions from our superintendent or board members?
Yes, I did have one. I forgot to, and thank you, Tony, for the reminder, in regards to Roosevelt Little League fields. The irrigation system was installed. It is working properly, almost. It is watering the fields. Looks like we have just a tad of a glitch in regards to electronics over there. But we also have renovated the Little League fields. Both the minor league and the major league fields were renovated. And we're just doing some finishing touches over there, so we'll be doing throwing the ball out for fall ball pretty soon.
Outstanding.
Okay.
I had an opportunity to attend the state Little League playoffs in Portage. Very, very, very nice place to play baseball.
Yes.
And it wasn't expensive. As a matter of fact, you had to bring your own chair because they didn't have bleachers.
Oh, really?
You had to bring your own chair, but you had to pay to sit. So it's like they collected a couple of bucks to sit. But the fields themselves were just wonderful. They did concessions with food trucks.
Did they really?
So there was no concession stand. They had one just doing snow cones or whatever, and another doing hot dog. But they fixed the whole concession thing by having a couple of food truck vendors. And it was a great couple days. I really enjoyed it, and that's what I'm looking forward and hoping we can do in our community. And Roosevelt is the place to make it happen. So we're moving forward with that, and I'm very pleased. Anything else?
One observation, perhaps a question. Our small green space out there is now devoid of all the native plants that were there. I was a little surprised to walk up and find that it's just.
Same here, I didn't know how that happened.
And we had spent a lot of time, as well as investment and in time of other people's labor, installing the native plant garden. I'm curious, kind of shocked to see that it's all gone.
No.
Well, there is one
Most.
small little pocket, maybe a half a
Yeah,
dozen plants.
we made a decision, that we were going to sort of redo that landscaping. And we wanted some more color. We've got a lot of native plants all around the city, especially in the Miller area. And lots of times people come up and tell me, why are these weeds here? I know education is the piece, but we bow to the wishes of a lot of our visitors here at the Hudson Gamble.
So will you be able to give the plants that Sandy was referencing to her?
I don't know. I will check back
Right.
with our new horticulturist and see if she has preserved a lot of that stuff.
My question is there a plan, and when will that plan be in place?
That plan is in place, and the young lady, she's not here today, she comes early in the morning. If you saw the pots out front as well, the planters, they were donated by the city, and she's going to be planting flowers in those as well.
Will there be flowers that'll come back every year, or will they be something that
Perennials.
she'd have to do?
We'll do perennials, it'll be a mixture of perennials, annuals. And I guarantee you, you might be disappointed right now, but you're gonna be pleased when you see the finished product.
I'm sure we will.
Any other questions or comments from board members or superintendent?
None here.
Then I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second that motion.
We are adjourned.